Investors keep getting whipsawed by Washington, and now it's not necessarily tariffs, but is there the chance that President Trump can fire the Federal Reserve Chairman? It's Monday, April 21st, and this is an impact report. We wanted to come to you today because this topic is making a lot of headlines, and it's also resulting in, yet again, another negative start to the week from an equity perspective. So let's break this down. Last week, the Trump administration had made some comments in the Oval Office about, his desire of wanting to fire the Federal Reserve Chairman. So is this something possible? The short answer is really anything's possible, but the logical answer is no. And this is not something that we foresee happening. But why is it getting talked about now? The Supreme Court is hearing a case where the Trump administration did fire two federal labor board members. And the Supreme Court is deciding on whether or not the Trump administration overstepped their authority by doing this. If the Supreme Court sides with the Trump administration on the firing of these two independent members, then there's this thought that he could then overstep the bounds by firing the Federal Reserve Chairman. This is something we simply do not see happening. First of all, Trump did appoint a Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, in 2017. Even in his first term, he was very vocal about wanting Powell to cut interest rates and keep interest rates low. So the comments he's been making about cutting interest rates isn't anything new. Trump has always wanted low interest rates. He was then reappointed by the Biden administration in 2021, and his term does not go up until May of next year. Now, Trump wants preemptive rate cuts because he is watching the markets in quite a bit of stress here over the past month or so, as well as the economy is starting to slow. But the Fed's not going to come in and just make changes to monetary policy because of what's going on in the markets. Instead, they're focusing on their dual mandate of price stability, which the tariffs are threatening the price stability, and then maximum employment. And while we have seen cracks in the labor market, the unemployment rate still is relatively low. So there is no need for them to act right now. And we have been very vocal about not wanting the Fed to act because we are entering a period with tariffs that do run a major inflation threat, and the Fed doesn't want to get stuck behind the curve. And they also have been very vocal about not wanting any stop and go monetary policy. So we think the Fed still stay on hold at the May meeting. We don't think that the Trump administration will take it as far as firing the Powell, and that's because of several things. First of all, we will lose all credibility around the world. We think that the dollar will tank on that type of news, and then we'll see a massive market sell-off. That would be much more difficult for the Trump administration to get out of than just to continue the negotiations from a tariff perspective. Give the Federal Reserve a bit more clarity of what they're even dealing with, because right now we're still in that negotiating phase, and the Federal Reserve doesn't know exactly what this can do to inflation. All that anyone knows is tariffs are an inflation threat. So we do not foresee this happening. You'll see headlines about this. You'll see rhetoric pick up. You'll have an opinion from everybody. Our opinion is that this is just a lot of talk. The chairman will continue his term through May of 26, but you will probably hear more rhetoric in the coming months ahead of maybe who Trump may want to replace Powell with when his term does come up. That's all we have today. If you want a history of our podcast, you can go to marketswithmegan.fm. Thank you.